everyone, and welcome back to Joy as It Flies. If you're new here, my name's Alyssa and I deal with the crochet side of this channel. Now, we've all experienced the pain of finishing a crochet project, turning your work over and then seeing all of these tail ends which need to be sewn in. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do that. This is quite often something that isn't really taught, and it's a really important thing to know how to do correctly to stop your work from coming undone. So if you're the kind of person that usually just cuts your tail ends and hopes for the best because you're not entirely sure how to sew them in correctly, this video is for you. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get started. So you're just going to need your project that has all of your loose tail ends. You might have lots of them like this, or just one or two. In today's video, I am going to be using this square that I've quickly made to show you how to weave your tail ends in. I've used a chunkier yarn, so hopefully you'll be able to see exactly what stitches I'm working under. You can use whatever project you have on hand though. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, and last but not least, a tapestry or darning needle. Now you can get lots of different kinds of darning needles. You can get plastic ones and metal ones. I know you can also get a few that have curved ends. It really doesn't matter though which kind of one you use. I personally prefer to use metal ones as I find they're a little bit sturdier. You know you'll have the correct kind of needle because the eye, so this part of it here, is nice and big so that you can actually thread your yarn through it. Once you have all of these things, we can now get started on sewing in our tail ends. Once you've finished your project, you want to make sure you leave a long tail end, and we're just going to thread that through our darning needle. Now I always think it's better to have too much yarn to work with than not enough, so make sure that tail end is nice and long. Once that's on your needle, you want to make sure the wrong side of your work is facing you, because that's the side we're going to work on. Now the key thing is to sew in 3 directions, or to make 3 passes. So we're going to sew along this way the first time, we're going to come back on ourselves the second time, and come back on ourselves once more the third time. You can make as many passes as you like. Making 3 though is the minimum, as that's going to ensure your work definitely won't come undone. Now if we have a look at our stitches, you should be able to see these back loops. So these little V's here. Each stitch has back loops, and that's what we're going to be working underneath each time. So we're going to come to the end of our work where we've just fastened off, and you're going to just wiggle your hook underneath this first V. So you can see just like this. And we're going to do the same thing along a few stitches. So you're just going to wiggle it underneath these back loops, and you can work under as many stitches as you like. I'm going to work under 4 or 5. So you can see you're just working underneath, and it doesn't matter what kind of stitch you've made, there should always be back loops that you can work under. So it should be looking like this. Now you know you've only worked under the back loops, because if you flip your work over, you should not be able to see your needle on the front. You can see just like this. Then from here we can just push that and pull our yarn all the way through. Just like this, nice and tight so that it's really secure. So that's our first pass. Now to make the second pass, we're going to work back on ourselves. And to stop ourselves from undoing the work we've just made, we're going to skip the first loop on this stitch, so this one here, and we're going to pop our needle straight onto the second loop. Just like this, you can see that's the second loop. Then from here, you can weave your needle underneath the same back loops that we've just worked under. So just like this, all the way back down underneath all of those stitches. There we are, so it should be looking like this. Again, you're only working under the back loops. Then just as before, you can pull your needle through and you can pull your yarn nice and tight. Just like this. There we are, so that's the second pass. And we're going to repeat that for our third and final pass. So again, to make sure we don't undo the work we've just made, we're going to skip this first loop and we're going to pop our hook onto the second one. So this one right here. Just like this. Then again, you're going to weave your hook underneath the back loops of all of these stitches. Now on our third and final pass, I always like to work a little bit beyond what we've already been under. So before we stopped here, I'm going to just continue to weave my needle underneath a few extra stitches. This is just something I like to do. You don't have to, I just find it makes it that little bit more secure. Once you've done that, you can then go ahead and pull your yarn through all of those stitches. Just like this, and you can really pull it nice and tight. There we are, so it should be looking like this right now. Now the reason why we make 3 passes is that over time when your work gets stretched or when it's washed, these stitches are naturally going to pull apart slightly. By making 3 passes or working in 3 directions, this is going to make sure your yarn doesn't unravel. Once you're happy with that, you can grab your scissors and you can trim any excess yarn you might have. And there we are, you've now just successfully sewn in one of your tail ends. So this is what it should be looking like. You can see this is a really neat technique. You can't even really see where we've sewn them in. And you really can't see it on the right side of your work. You can see by working into the back loops, it makes it really lovely and neat. Now, as I said before, you can use this technique with any kinds of stitches. Every stitch has back loops that you can work under, and as long as you sew in 3 different directions, you should be good to go and your tail ends should always be really lovely and secure. Folks, I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and found it easy to follow. If you have any questions or any video requests, drop me a comment down below. I love hearing from you. It would also mean so much to us if you could give this video a thumbs up and if you could subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you in our little community. I'll see you all again next week in my next tutorial, but until then, happy crocheting!